Let's get right to it. It's all coming up on our King of Kings show here on the BPA King of Bowling.
BPA King of Bowling. Brought to you by the Beautiful Brewing Company, America's great small brewery.
King of
Demand. I can get comfortable.
We're all set to go with match number 1 here in our BPA King of Bowling final. The King of Kings shows Alan Runkel leading it off against Len Gray in our first match. Alan we saw on last week's show, and he opens with a strike.
This is it. This is going to be one exciting day today. We're going to be going for $1,400 top prize. Lenny Gray, of course, both of these gentlemen they both had 2 kingships and both working on their third, should it be today. And of course, Alan working on back to back to back, and he says he wants to three-peat, just like the 49ers.
That's right. You get to this point where you have the King of Kings and you got the veterans going at it. Lenny just didn't quite get it to hook up in there as he would have liked, leaving 3 pins.
Lenny Gray leaving the 2-4-5, not getting the good clean roll and the strong back ends that Lenny really needs to post those big numbers that he's so capable of doing, George. His roll on the ball is such that he's a shot maker and he can split boards in half, but also needs a little bit of help on the back ends to get that good clean roll to create the pin action.
Len completes the spare. Works down at the post office, so he's going to be real busy in the next couple of days with all those tax forms rolling through the post office.
What do you mean? I've got my refund already.
Like I said, sometimes I run late on things, and
I'm with you, George.
Not when they give me money back. It's filed the day I can file it.
Yeah, I hear that. I tell myself I'm going to do that every year. Hadn't happened yet.
Better shot.
All right, shake it out of there, Lenny.
Still not the good clean roll that's going to give you the powerful strike, but a mixing ball. Take a look at it here. Head pin again, most of the time doing all the work on the messenger service. Watch it go to the left-hand wall, center of your screen, left-hand wall. There you go. Comes off the wall. Whirly birds into the 4, 4 into the 5, and then the neck of the head pin into the 7.
Jackie Alexander, Laura Snodgrass, Donna Nenadove, and Betty Volker, we'd like to thank you very, very much for being such great tournament help all throughout the year.
Great tournament help. That was a great, great shot. Alan Runkel is issuing a challenge to Lenny Gray early with 2 authoritative strikes.
Alan rolled a pretty good game on the show last week, a 244, but that wasn't good enough. He was beaten by Kerry Logan. I'd say another 244, and chances are he'll move on this week, but
take your chances with that number every time.
Got that right.
Taking a little extra time here, George. I'm not sure if this is going to pay off or not. A little extra speed, a little more time, a little too tentative. Take a look at it here if we can. The ball will go a little longer than what Alan Runkel wants it to do. And he's going to leave the soft 7. Now watch the ball as it enters the pocket here. It's going to make a little jump to the left, take the 2-pin straight back. 4-pin is just not in the proper position to put that cross body block on the 7, George.
So Allen holds the spare.
Keep him up by 9. However, Lenny does have that strike working early.
Yeah, it's way too early to pick anybody to have the advantage in the match, but right now Alan Runkel appears to be a little more comfortable with his shot. Lenny Gray, however, after years of competition, knows that he can get it together and run around and win a match.
I honestly think Lenny's one of the smartest bowlers I've ever met. He makes moves. He doesn't die from the same spot. And you can be sure he's going to correct whatever's going on there right now. Once again on the right lane, going light. Just a little bit less light than before, so he did make a little bit of an attempt to get solid in the pocket.
Len first appeared on the King show back in January of 1970. Hope Lenny doesn't mind me saying he appeared on the show.
I remember watching that at the age of
1970.
4. That was it's probably the first show I ever watched, perhaps.
That was my first year on too, George.
Is that right?
It's
1970?
official. Yeah, it's the year I graduated from LaSalle High School, and that was the first year I was on the show. Oh my, I guess it is official.
The young buck out of LaSalle hit the show.
Wow.
A Lancer.
20 years. Oh. Let me sit down.
Yes,
It has been
you
20
need
years,
to.
it's true.
Take a look at Lenny's hand position, if you would. Fingers spread. That's the way you get around the ball. But right now, he's getting around the ball. Oh, better shot. Much better shot. There you go. Watching the hand, and he was twirling around the ball earlier, not getting a clean roll. This ball, what a great shot. Watch this one. You want to stay behind it and then lift up and through the side of the ball. That's the roll you want to see. That's the desired reaction you're going to get.
Had much more bite on that ball as it went down the lane.
Scrubbing bubbles, right?
A mean one, yeah.
I'm going to miss doing this again. Doggone it. I love doing the show, and I love to see the finals as we are here, but that's a signal that we're almost finished. And Cincinnati, you've been great to us again.
And George, we thank you. You've done a great job with us this year.
Well, I thank both of you, too. I've had a blast in my first year. Hope it's the first of many.
Me too. Me too. As we look at the game, 9 pins separating the two contestants. Alan Runkel, the beneficiary of those 9 pins. Both players with a strike working. Taking a little more time here again on the left-hand lane. Let's see if he leaves another 7.
Oh!
You called it.
It's just, let me explain why, okay, George? When you take a little bit more time, that means you're going to be more deliberate. When you're more deliberate with the shot, you're not as free, you're not as loose, and more times than not, Jen, I think you'll agree, if you're loose, your pin carry is going to be better.
I agree.
Kind of figured you would. Here's your 5-2.
No, it's true. It's true.
I don't know, maybe in baseball too, or basketball, George, you see the same thing.
You can't be tentative. You really can't. You have to just freewheel it. Let it happen. If you have to think about it happening, it most likely won't.
Allen holds the 7 pin.
You know, I'm going to catch flack for doing that. People at home will think I'm jinxing somebody by talking about something ahead of time.
Yes.
No.
But that doesn't happen in bowling, I swear. Just not the way it is. Lenny Gray now. Okay, he's making that change with it. See him looking at his hand. He wants to make sure he gets that good, clean roll like he did last frame. Okay. What's it look like? Nope. Spun around that ball again.
Right.
Some players at the plate do the same thing, George. You'll see them when they're hitting well. They just step up there and they let it fly. Other times when they're really trying to get set, you can almost see when they're not comfortable. 1, 2, 8. A makeable. but also choppable spare. Jen, how do you make this one?
I move 4 boards to the right, depending on whether they're hooking or not. If they're hooking hard, then I'll only move about 3. If they're not, if they're going a little bit more straight or oily, then I will move a full 4 boards.
Look out. Well,
Ooh,
that's
lucky.
not the desired way to do it. Lenny played the pocket. I don't think he meant to do that, but look at him smiling. No, he didn't mean to do that.
But he'll take it.
Well, you have to. It's a rule.
Yeah.
That's right.
Give it
That's a
back.
good way to look at that, Dave. I always wondered why people said that. You're going to take it. Well, of course you're going to take it. It's a rule.
It's a rule. I've tried to give strikes back before, George, in critical situations, and they just would not let me do it. So
Oh, I find that so hard to believe.
It is. It's because it's untrue.
smarter than the average spare.
Well, here's Lenny in the 6th frame, trailing by 9, working on a spare.
Better shot.
Oh, great.
Much better shot. The roll is so critical. Not only is it hitting your target with accuracy, but watch the roll here. End over end instead of around like a top. Right up through the bottom of the ball. There you go. End over end. Kaboom.
Of course, Lenny has been striking on that lane thus far in the match, so we're just going to have to figure out this right game, and if he does, this right lane, and if he does, he has a great chance of winning.
1 pin, 9 pins. Alan Runkel in the lead, but he's got to match the strike. He does match the strike.
And Allen hasn't missed on that lane this game.
The game of Alan Runkel is incredible. Watch it here. It is textbook. Down at the line, reaching straight through, stretching out through it. And what do you get? You get the roll, the power that creates that kind of a strike. 9 pins. Alan Runkel in the lead halfway through this, our first game. Both players with a strike in the 6th.
This is the lane Allen's had trouble with.
No 7th pin that time. No way. Oh, you can see that from his first step. He meant business on this shot. Take a look if we can. The power that we talked about last frame, the extension, the roll, it's all there. The 1-2 pocket, annihilated. The 5 pin, out of here. Yeah, that's one for me.
He's working on the double.
Actually, it's 2 for him. And I have so many people to thank, just real quick. Sammy Coleman for coming every week and helping out, and he's always giving me all the great stats and all the people. And I'll tell you, this guy remembers everything going back 20, 30 years. He really does.
Absolute encyclopedia of information.
It's incredible. We thank you, Sammy.
Slamming Sammy. And Lenny Gray with a double of his own here in the 7th.
The mixing ball on the right-hand lane, maybe that's as close as he can get, but if you're going to do it, it's a little bit too much on the side of the ball there. Again, I'm just going around and see it. It's not the clean roll that he's getting on the left-hand lane. Head pin to the wall, mixes into 4, 4 into 5, and then the 7's out last. But if you're getting this in your league play or in a tournament, folks, move your feet a little bit. Change your whole target line. But don't be content with not winding up in the pocket.
Well, now he did catch the strike on the right lane, so let's see if he can make it a triple as he has been striking on the left lane.
Better roll. Much better roll.
Ooh. He slid it out, too, running it out to the left.
The reaction, Lenny
I love
Gray.
it.
He's got a few moves of his own. There we go. A little more erect at the line, but he put his heart and soul into this ball. This shot is annihilation personified. Lenny Gray is in this match, and he's not going to go away.
Yes, the 3-bagger. Alan Runkel looking for a 3-bagger here in the 8th frame.
To maintain a 9-pin lead, he needs this one. Yes.
He got it.
Uh-oh. Alan Runkel, one of the best match play players that I know, and this is why he's so good in a critical situation. Reaches down for a little extra and just annihilate. Look at that rip rack. Yes!
I can tell you the only reason we didn't see Alan a little more this year is because he was away on business most weekends. And the few weekends that he did come out, he did fabulous and made our show.
Well, he maintains that 9-pin lead and can take it all the way out for a 259.
Look at the eyes. Again, a little more time on the left-hand lane. I don't know. It paid off that time. He was thinking about it, and it worked.
I think Alan has just a little bit of tug room on that left lane. He can snug it in a little bit, and it's still going to strike.
Potential for our two players, 259 Alan Runkel with 3 strikes in the 10th. Lenny Gray would have to strike in the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th frames to finish with 250. Kind of a funny number, but nevertheless, a 250 would be a great game. And it would really put the pressure on Runkel in the 10th. Championship week. This is what it's all about. This kind of pressure. Can he do it? Yes.
Oh. Wow. That was his best shot on that lane yet.
Absolutely, Jen. The greatest roll so far on lane number 38. Let's look at it one more time. Good wrist roll, rotation. Now watch the ball go into a nice strong roll. 6-pin does not get there, and the disappointment is evident.
So Lenny now at least 10 pins behind. Could be 20.
Cut his potential down to 229 is the best he can do. And he needs the first 2 in the 10th to get to that 220 area, and that's the only way he's going to put the pressure on Alan Runkel. So soon it comes down to a critical shot.
Lenny must keep his composure and keep that same shot in the left lane because he has yet not to strike.
That's right, Jen. It's when you're on a lane that you're comfortable in, but you know you couldn't ask for any better scenario here to finish on the lane that you've been very comfortable with. But you're right, control that enthusiasm and adrenaline and just make a good shot here. Does he do it? Yep.
Oh,
boy.
Bad breaks. Wow.
Back-to-back bad breaks on super shots. You can't say enough good about this shot, but we can watch it one more time. Watch the ball as it enters the 1-3 pocket, deflecting so slightly to the right. Right there, it's going to the right, takes the 5-pin straight back, then goes into a strong roll and just misses the 8-pin. Tough break for Lenny Gray.
Well, it's amazing the amount of matches we've had this year that come down to the 10th frame. Seems like time and time again, at least 2 games a show, we've gone to the 10th where it's anybody's match.
Well, this one is basically all but over. Runkel does not even need to spare in his 10th frame now, but you can't blame it on Lenny.
No,
Lenny
he
put
bowled fabulous.
2 great shots together in the 9th and 10th frame, neither of which yielded a strike. Lenny Gray will not win this match, but he bowled very, very well.
There it is. Lenny Gray finishes up with a 218. You know,
he's laughing. I don't know what else I can do. All I can do is plug him in there.
And he wasn't real comfortable to start off with and did straighten it out, so that's an attribute to Lenny.
Years of experience, Jen. You're right. You can't say enough nice things about Lenny. He scratched and clawed his way into the finals and really showed us a lot here in the final game.
oh, Alan Runkel continues to blow the pins away. That is 5 in a row, and he is still on that 259 pace as
He's
Dave
cooking.
Newrath adds the sound effects. Live, almost like old-time radio.
Almost live.
Yes.
Well, as the fun comes to an end here, we've got this is our last week for the regular Kings. Then we've got the women for 2 weeks and the juniors for 2 weeks. But it all spells the end of another great year and a fun year with all of you people at home tuning us in regularly. Again, we appreciate it. Easy for you to say.
Someone eating some potato chips in our area, I think.
Let's see.
Alan Runkel, should he pick this up, would have a 248, which is more than enough to win this match.
Well,
248.
last week 244, this week 248, George. You're right. Alan Runkel is really putting on a bowling clinic for us. Stay tuned so you can catch the rest of the clinic right now.
248 to 218.
Well, this week's Golden Ball contest is going to be a little bit different, Kathy. We've had a great year, and we busted the pot how many times?
We've busted it 3 times. Once at Delfair for $400, once at Durban for $400, and last week at Glenmore for $300.
That's fabulous. So we only have $100 to give away, but I'll tell you what, it's still not too bad. Why don't you reach in there and draw a name out, and we'll give $100 away for our last week.
This is Howard Hahn. He was one of our home audience viewers, and he receives the $100 that's left in the jackpot.
Well, Howard, congratulations, and we'll see you again next week. But we'd like to thank our sponsors, Tri-State Bowling Supply and Carl's Bowlers Paddock, for a great year this year. Thank you. First part of Game 2 found one mistake and one mistake only by Mike Ackerman, allowing Alan Runkel to continue striking and gain the advantage going into Part 2. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
14 years in the award business makes Carl's Bowlers Paddock the award professionals, providing engraved plaques and trophies for any purpose in any size. And of course, Carl's carries a complete line of bowling supplies and accessories. Carl's Bowlers Paddock, 829-2250. Come see our new location on Dixie Highway in Fairfield.
High above the blue chip city, Seven Hills, lies one of the West's favorite entertainment centers, Western Bowl, where in January, the Hoinke Classic began another year of competitive tournament bowling. Since 1975, over $1 million in prize money has been awarded each year to men and women bowlers. Additional early bird prizes are paid to winners during the first 6 weeks of the Hoinke Classic, the world's largest handicap tournament. Share in the excitement. Western Bowl on Glenway Avenue, Western Hills.
We're back for the conclusion of match number 2. The messenger just missed.
A little strong, a little quick. Alan Runkel coming back after the station break. We saw him throw with a little more authority. In between players here too, Jen, if you have the list, maybe you can run down and see how maybe our top 20 finished here in the finals.
Well, we had George Klein, who was my pick for all year long, Alan Downs, and Terry Ciccone, who had a score of like 850-something here a few years back. We also had Danny Moses, Kim Herman, Steve Gilkey, Jerry Eckel, Tom Atkins, another fine bowler, George Hensley, Riga, who we've seen many times this year, Gary Trissell, Willie Dean, and Glenn Meese II.
It's the top 20 players, and we would like to congratulate all of them for their performances here. And it was a very competitive shot, and the players that you're watching today were the players able to make the most number of good shots. And that's why you're looking at them, because they are good. Hey, these guys are good.
Really good. Ooh, a little high here in the 6th frame for Alan Runkel.
Now, again, the lane that has, if you're going to say caused him any problems, or at least made him uneasy, gives up a break, and he only has the 610 to shoot at, going across lane. Fairly easy spare for a good spare shooter like Alan Runkel. Oh my.
I think that was the Newrath factor for sure.
Oh, God. Could have went without that.
Yeah, that was a real letdown for Alan.
Going across lane should be an easy spare, but he did not play the accumulation of the oil that has built up in the center of the lane. The ball did not hook as sharply as he had planned, and therefore not getting enough of the 6-pin to throw it into the 10.
Alan, of course, is from the Buffalo area and a very, very avid Bills fan. I mean, whenever they come to town, he's right there cheering them on.
If anything's going to pump you up,
Yep.
that will.
Mike Ackerman right back in it.
Take a look at it here. You want to get back in the match when your opponent opens up? You bet. Well, throw a shot like this, and it should be good 9 out of 10 times. Boy, that ball is rolling over strong. Just catching enough of the 5-pin, but didn't need it. The head pin was going to take out the 4 and the 7 anyway. Mike Ackerman strike in the 6th frame. He has now cut the lead down and can actually take a 1-pin lead with a spare, and he can make that 11 pins if he strikes. It's close.
He really stroked that ball. I mean, he got up there after the open frame and just put 2 right in the pocket.
1-pin advantage, not that important. 11 pins, yeah, you bet. So what's he do? Look at that ball rolling over end roll, 10 in a pit. Every pin doing its job. Mike Ackerman has got the hammer on Alan Runkel.
He sure does.
Dave, let's see. Let's look back a little bit and see if you can remember what happened 15 years ago on Easter Sunday for George. I'm sure you know.
Well, let me see here. Did it have something to do with a high score?
Sure did.
Did it happen at Stones Lane?
Yes, it did.
Was it a 300 game?
It was a 300 game by Bob Dieters Jr.
20 questions, George. You didn't even play. Now, come on.
I already knew the answer. I didn't want to just give it away.
Oh, okay. All right. I knew there was a reason. Take a look. Alan Runkel is behind, but not out. 116. Project one more strike for Mike Ackerman would give him 127. Those are the 11 pins we spoke about. But with 3 frames to go, both players working with a strike, 11 pins is not enough. This man bound and determined to cut that to 1.
He did.
Alan's really get down on it on every shot.
Great shot here. My goodness, look at this one, folks. Stay down. A disciplined player, you bet. Not going to rear up here. He likes it. He knows it's one of the best shots of the day. Crunch time.
So Mike Ackerman put the pressure on Alan. Now it's right back on Mike.
This is one of those in-your-face matches, huh?
Yeah. You want to raise the stakes? I'll raise them with you. Near disaster.
And if you raise the stakes, you may force your opponent to make an errant shot. Mike Ackerman really gets a break, cutting straight through, only leaving the 610 to shoot at. Jen, your adjustment for this, what do you make?
I'm sorry?
Your adjustment to make the 610?
I basically just use between the 3rd and 4th arrow, and I kind of feel my feet position out, but I always make sure before I start anything that I shoot cross alley spares to see what they're doing.
To know what the lane's doing, that's right. And most of the time if you do that, you'll make it, just like Mike showed you. You want to kill the roll on the ball a little bit too, as you would do for any right-hand spares. Without dead wood in the back, of course, and that'll cut down your chances of chopping and also cut down the complication of going across the wood. Every time we get a shot of Irv's, he's in a different seat. What is he in? Musical chairs?
Musical chairs.
It's true.
A man covering the lanes.
If Mike strikes out, he'll end up with a 225. Once again, we have a tight match. Ackerman in the net. Got it. A strike in the 9th frame, and boy, did he need that.
All-important 9th frame. Is he going to get a little overtime off the 6-pin? Let's take a gander at it here. Second one from the right-hand side of your screen. Just watch it. Ooh, little belly to belly. You guys are out of here.
Dave, would you consider Mike a tweener in between a stroker and a cranker, or would you classify him else?
Actually, his role reminds me a lot of Walter Ray from the Pro Tour. Strong end over end roll.
Forward roll, yeah.
And a very accurate. Oh my. This is what you've tuned in to see, folks. Championship match. Alan Runkel with a double working. We're looking at 1 stick. Make it 11. Mr. Runkel in the lead by 11 pins.
Now he can close it out here in the 10th. He's in the lead, can go out for a 236. The best Mike Ackerman can do is 225.
This is what it's all about, George.
Again, another tight match. We have just been seeing these match after match after match. Now Runkel in the 10th.
What do you think?
I think he got him.
Oh, man.
There's one.
Now it's not Lock City yet. It's not Lock City. Watch it here. He's got to have this one to control his own fate. What's he? Ooh, the lip tells you he put everything into it that he had. The ball reacts accordingly.
Alan's extension of his arm is just so great.
Well, to get the maximum out of your game, you have to perform at the same level of intensity consistently, Jen, and that's what we're seeing out of Alan Runkel right now.
Since the open frame in the 6th, he has been perfect. Nothing but strikes.
A strike here will allow Alan Runkel to bid for his 3rd straight kingship. That's
Yes.
Well, I don't know. It looked like a Michael Jackson move there at the end.
Better than Michael.
I give the ball a 9 and the move a 10.
That's right.
Take a look at it here. The reaction from the pins goes without saying. That one he needed to go into the finals. Kaboom, you're out of here. And Alan Runkel will go on to the championship match, and that's what he's worked so hard for. And he threw only perfect shots to get there, Jen.
Definitely. His strikes are just so, they're just no doubt every time. 10 in the pit.
236. He has bowled in the last 2 weeks on our show a 244, a 248, and a 236. And of course, the 244 wasn't good enough.
Mike Ackerman will finish out in grandiose style, of course. He can go out for 225. But the 3 games you mentioned, George, would go down for 728 if you added them all together, and that ain't hay.
Nope, that's a lot of wood.
Not when you're talking about the type of pressure involved here. Competition and TV cameras, that's excellent.
Yeah, we've mentioned many times about the different environment here when you have the television cameras out, the bright lights. It really is different. Something the bowlers have to get used to. And a guy who's been on the show as much as Alan Runkel certainly is used to it. Mike Ackerman as well, a veteran.
So we're going to go on to Steve Bruck, championship match. Right after this, don't go away.
Where do you go for your bowling equipment? Head to Tri-State Bowling Supply, especially for bowling balls. Tri-State is the local headquarters for the full line of Columbia 300 bowling balls. If you need less weight, the light dot. Drier lanes, the white dot. The perfect all-round ball, the world-famous yellow dot. If you're ready for urethane, the Columbia U-Dots. Stop by to see the remarkable new Vector 1 and Vector 2 now available. Tri-State Bowling Supply, 27 years of sales and service. The Bowler's Pro Shop.
Alan Runkel there with his head down has come all the way from match number 1 to meet this guy, Steve Bruck, leading it off in frame 1.
Wow, he's rolling that ball really strong, Dave.
And very strong is right, but even more so than that, Jen, he's thinking. And by that I mean he has chosen to let Alan Runkel finish on the left-hand lane.
Good.
The lane, if either lane is more difficult, it would be the left lane, and Steve's showing a lot of lane savvy by making that choice.
So he's been watching. He holds the 10 pin. Steve Bruck with the spare in the first frame. Kind of looks relieved to get that first one over with, and now he can kick back and relax a little.
And of course, we are here at Kingpin Lanes, where they have a bowling ball league going on, and every bowler will get a gift certificate for $105 from Tri-State Bowling Supply.
Whoa!
Out in Anderson Township.
No kidding.
No kidding.
That is fabulous. Sign me up for that one. I can
By
use
the way,
some new
that's
equipment.
Monday at 6:30, starting May 14th.
Boy, Alan Runkel just picking up where he left off, mowing them down.
Alan, we can't say enough about his expertise on the lanes and his match playability. He brought all of that with him from Buffalo and decided to settle here in Cincinnati, and it's our game. He has only helped to upgrade the already high level of competition here in Cincinnati.
Allen working on 7 straight strikes over 2 games. Here in the second frame, looking for the double here in the championship match.
Another one of them, bam.
I tell you, he is getting at the line as solid as anyone that I've ever seen, Jim. Watch this. Just the Rock of Gibraltar at the line. Kaboom! Through the ball with power. 1-2 pocket. Annihilation. Not a lot you can say about perfection.
Except that's it right there. Thus far. Steve Bruck is a great competitor, though.
He brings one back here in the second frame.
We're going to have a match. You can count on that. And we're going to have a good shot of Steve staying down, even though his footing slips a little bit. The rotation on the ball. Head pin to the left-hand wall. Didn't have to do anything, though. The 4 was already gone, and so was the 7.
He has such a long slide, though. It seems like that's more vulnerable to a little bit extra slide, you know, getting a little bit off. But it seems to work for him.
Well, the slide is simply for that extra moment of adjustment. Tom Casey is another player that slides probably twice as long as most other players in town. And that area is that last minute that the strokers can use to adjust their release, Jen. And it's an unconscious thing. It's not something you can really work on.
How's your slide, George?
My slide, very short.
We'll have to work on that.
When I slide on the proper foot, it's okay.
I've seen you slide into the parking lot down at Channel 5 once in a while. Slide looks great to me.
Yeah, well, I need new tires on that car.
Just in time. All right, let's get back to the match.
Watch out for Jerry's Jaguar.
Nice.
Alan Runkel is perfect. First 2, averaging into the 240s so far. And he is showing you why. Down at the line, extension, power in the release, all coupled with accuracy.
Oh, my
man, what is that?
What is it? It's probably the worst break I've ever seen in my life. Look at this. Perfect shot. The head pin's going to go straight back. Takes a 3-pin to the wall. Look at that head pin. It actually winds up over in the 7-pin spot. The 6, 8, 10.
It's amazing.
You guys that are taping this show, you can replay that one about 100 times and watch the pin fall. You'll never see that again.
However, it is a makeable split.
He's shooting.
Gave it a run.
Well, he still has the double to back up that open, so we still have a pretty tight match.
Actually, 5 pins. Alan Runkel relinquishes the lead, but only by 5, and there you see it. Steve Bruck with a strike in the 4th would register 60. Alan Runkel's 55, but Alan cannot be upset because actually he's thrown 3 great shots and just
heard of a fast 8. That was a fast 7 split. It really was.
Lightning.
But I guarantee you Alan will regroup right here.
We'll see if it phased him at all. Did it?
New Alan Runkel. Well, he opened in the 6th frame in the last game and struck all the way out.
There you go. Runkel, is he flustered by the bad break in the 3rd frame? I'll let you be the judge.
But that was close to what I did before.
That's right. Just 3 better.
Steve Bruck with a strike can take a 5-pin lead here in the 4th. Boy, did he leave that wide.
The 1, 2, 4 caused by a completely errant shot, a little quick to the line, raising up, going around the ball. Other than that, it was perfect.
Well, he had a chance to barge right through the door, and now he has a 2-pin lead through 3, and actually you're going to have to give the advantage to Allen here in the 4th with the strike up.
That was
Needed-
not the way to approach that spare
Needed
at
a
all.
little bit of body English on that one to bring it back.
George, all your players are going to try to shoot that spare by going across to the Brooklyn side and covering the 1 and the 2 with the ball. The heavy concentration of oil in the middle, however, made the ball straighten out, and he converts that spare in an unorthodox but effective way. Too much speed right now. Way too much speed, Jen, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and I maybe it's me, I don't know, but I saw Mike Ackerman get out about that 8th board, and it seemed to be effective, and the roll seemed, it seemed to catch the roll on the dry board. It seems like he's just heading right through the oil where he's at.
Maybe
The
Steve
speed is infecting it also.
definitely,
Sure.
and you're right. If he would move to the right and use that area that Mike Ackerman found, or slow up just a little bit, he could have a little better ball reaction. But even right there, the ball did not roll off strongly for him. And if you're going up against a guy that has labeled 4 shots, you better be flush.
And I think it's so much easier to make an adjustment on the lane rather than with your speed, because speed is such a difficult adjustment to make on a consistent basis.
Good point. There you see right over Steve's left shoulder, the wife of Alan Runkel, looking on calmly, I would say. Huh?
At this point, she is.
The wives, they go through so much torment during these times that they can't do anything about. But I'll tell you, Alan Runkel is just putting on a clinic for us. Take a look at this clinic. 1-2. Now watch, down at the line, through the ball, does not raise up until the ball's well down the lane. The 1-2 pocket is filled up. Every pin doing its job. Alan Runkel is perfect through 5, but with that one nasty, nasty bad break there in the 3rd frame, George.
Boy, he has really been knocking them down. This guy has put some pretty good scores up on the board the last couple of weeks on our show. Doing it again this game. And I jinxed him.
No such thing. Alan cut the ball a little bit short there, George. He had a 19-pin lead. It's cut to 17 at this point. Steve Bruck still in the match, obviously. Both players, I'm sure, are going to take it to the wall there. You see those beautiful-looking brand-new pins here on 37 and 38 at Kingpin Lane. Everything about this establishment is nice.
Jimmy Lyles, of course, here 11 years, just doing a fantastic job. And as I said at the opening, they're going to put in automatic scores, put a few adjustments in, and they'll be ready to roll for the winter leagues. And of course, summer leagues are forming here now.
A few adjustments coming up from Steve Bruck. I guarantee you he knows that to be in the winner's circle after 5 more frames, he's going to need to start striking. And I think you're going to see a very good look at Runkel in the background. Yes, yes. Trying to stay pumped up in between frames.
There's a strike for Steve Bruck in the 6th frame, and this match is just tight.
Tight. Here is somebody that's loose right here, right over the 14th board. This ball is not going to be denied. No deflection. 5 into the 7. Head pin coming off the wall, but everybody's gone home. We've got a match, George.
We sure do. Another tight one.
7
All
pins.
these close games we've been having. This is good.
A little quick on the left-hand lane again. 2-4-5. Very common spare for the right-hander that is not quite lined up. 2 schools of thought here. One to play it from the left-hand side, go straight down the 4th or 5th diamond and cut down on the hook, or play it to the right off of your strike target and let the ball hook in and play it like the pocket.
Now from that angle, it sure looks like it'd be easy to chop. Covers him nicely. That's
the perfect way to do it. And there's some sportsmanship. Alan Runkel's wife applauding for Steve Bruck's cover. She's a class act. The Runkel family has done well for itself here in Cincinnati.
Alan talking to himself there a little bit, maybe getting himself pumped back up after Sitting out a couple of frames while Steve Bruck went to work. Now it's Alan's turn in the 7th. Oh, he blows him away again.
Absolutely perfect. Alan Runkel, an investment counselor. I wonder if he's going to be able to invest some of this money properly, huh? Scoreboard will tell the tale. There you see it. 7 pins. Alan Runkel in the lead with the strike working. 17 pins, the potential. 3 frames to go. 3 frames away from winning his 3rd straight end of the year King of Kings title.
Which has never been done.
History in the making.
That's right.
Possibly.
Oh, did he hammer him again? The man is stroking it.
Alan Runkel, not to be denied. Left-hand lane, critical shot. What's he do? Again, a bowling clinic, a school. It's a replay of all the other perfect shots. 1-2 pocket. You're watching perfection, ladies and gentlemen. Watch it and learn from it.
Steve Bruck now in the 8th.
Much better.
He needed that.
Yeah, I'm afraid he's going to need them all from here on out to have any chance.
Steve Bruck, right-hand lane. Does he answer with a good shot? I'll let you be the judge again. 14th board. Cutting down on the hook and going with a more direct line just fries that 5 out of there. 4 into the 7. Potential for Steve Bruck, 226. Alan Runkel stuck on a very popular number, 243.
And Steve has not struck on this left lane yet. Now's an important time to do it.
About as important as you can get.
That's the way you do it.
A big strike in the 9th for Steve Bruck, and that keeps him in this match.
We mentioned at 226 the potential. Alan Runkel, however, up in the 9th and 10th frame, can squash all the hopes of Steven if he strikes in the 9th, 10th, and 11th frames. But that's a tall order, George.
It is, but Alan Runkel has shown he can do it. No question about that.
A little extra sigh. A little bit extra time. You got to stay loose in these critical situations, and I'll tell you what, I think he can do no wrong today.
That's what it looks like. The big strike in the 9th frame. He maintains that 17-pin advantage, and that's really looking big heading into the 10th.
However, not over with yet.
That is true.
You can all put this match away with the first strike in the 10th frame. Big shot. This is it, folks. You tuned in all these weeks. Comes down to this one.
That's it.
He liked it. Critical situation. Does he throw a good shot, Jennifer? George?
Fabulous.
This is what you tune in to watch. One level below the pros? I don't think so.
I don't either.
You won't see a better strike in a higher pressure situation than that ever. Four pins or better on this ball. Is it better?
Good enough.
Good enough. Let's see if my roughed-in calculations on this bar napkin hold true here.
That does it.
233
between the
with
comics, yes.
232, pardon me.
232. The best Steven can go out for is 226. Alan Runkel, you're looking at him. Made history today, and you guys were watching. The only man ever to be our three-time King of Kings champion, Alan Runkel.
And with the caliber of talent in Cincinnati, that is a phenomenal deed indeed.
I mean, look at the wife. There she's smiling, a little kiss. Hey, watch that stuff.
This is family hour here. And it continues to be. Steve Bruck hangs a 10, but it's all over. He knows it. He's playing out the string. Gave it a good ride.
And as I mentioned before, don't forget us on Sundays because we'll be back with 2 women's shows and also 2 youth shows after that.
240 average for Alan Runkel today. Hung up on a very good number. 240 something. Steve has nothing to be ashamed of. He met a meat cleaver coming through the door today.
A 248, a 236, and a 232 for Alan Runkel today. And boy, that's going to do it most weeks.
He's happy, and he deserves it. Alan Runkel, a great, great player. Steve also. Every player you've looked at today is a champion in their own right. It's a shame only one can walk away with the title and the big check. But I don't think anybody would dispute the fact that Runkel has earned it.
Alan Runkel, our King of Kings here in 1990, 232 to 205. We'll be back to talk more about it. We're back. The gang's all here. Our King of Kings show, and for the 3rd year in a row, Alan Runkel takes it all in this championship finals.
That's right, George. History in the making. Great, great match, Steve. Tough loss, but Alan Runkel, the man of the hour, $1,400 championship for the 3rd time. Congratulations, Alan. George.
Okay, and Steve Bruck, runner-up, and you're going to get some hardware and checks as well.
Good job, Steve.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you.
All right, that'll wrap it up from here. Join us next week when we'll have the women. We'll see you then.
BPA King of Bowling. Brought to you by the Beautiful Brewing Company, America's great small brewery.